Good afternoon, everyone. We've got one of my favorite Asian investors with us today, Donna Heslop. She's actually at the nail salon. She's multitasking like she normally does. And so I'm just happy and thankful that she's on here. She's done a lot of great work. Her and I have done a lot of great work together. So Donna, introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Donna Heslop, and originally from Jamaica, West Indies. I've been in the I've been in the United States since 1980. So really, technically, I've been in America most of my life. So, and I'm an American citizen. So I'm American, but I was born in Jamaica.
Okay. And
What else
how,
you want to know?
how long were you in? What year did you come here, and where did you come? Because I think you're from New York, right?
Yes. So we immigrated to the United States May 3rd, 1980. And we moved from Jamaica, West Indies, to Jamaica, New York,
Wow.
Queens, right to Jamaica, Queens, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
So it was
All right.
like we were in Jamaica, but we're in America.
And so, what grade was that?
What?
What grade? What grade did you did you
What?
start here?
Okay. So I left Jamaica in the eighth grade. I left in May, so I hadn't really completed the eighth grade. But when I came to the United States that September, I started in the ninth grade. So I started in high school. So I never went to elementary or middle school in the United States. I started in high school.
Okay. And then you graduated from high school, and where'd you go to college?
I went to college upstate New York, Binghamton University. So I did both my undergraduate and my graduate studies at Binghamton. So I stayed there after undergrad and completed my MBA. And then after I completed my MBA, I moved to Maryland because when we had lived in New York all this time, and then I got married to my college sweetheart, and we moved to Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland.
And what did you do when you got here? What was your first occupation?
Okay, so when I graduated from college, IT had just really started as a field. And so I ended up doing my undergraduate in management information systems, and then I did my MBA with a concentration in management information systems. And then I got employed out of college by a company called American Management Systems in Virginia, in Arlington, Virginia. And so I began my career in management information systems. I became a programmer, a developer, an analyst, and pretty much did the whole system development lifecycle.
And then at some point you started. Did you start your own IT business?
Yes. So what happened was that at some point, the company that I worked for, we ended up doing a project with Verizon. At the time, it was Bell Atlantic, and so we left that project. I went back to Arlington. Then I came back. It was too much of a commute for me, so I ended up working. Y2K was about to happen, the year 2000, when all this Y2K work was needed. So I ended up going to work for T. Rowe Price to do some Y2K work. And then my old manager from Verizon called me and asked me to help out with their efforts for the Y2K preparation at Bell Atlantic, because I was one of the few people who knew the systems, who had coded the billing systems. And so I told him, I said, okay, I can come back, but I want to come back as my own independent contractor. So I'd spoken to my husband at the time, college buddy, who worked at Verizon as well. And I said, why don't we start our own IT company and, get paid right, like we should. And so we ended up starting a company called United Technical Consulting. And we got Verizon as our first contract. And so it was supposed to be like a 6-month gig. It ended up being like a 6 to 7 year contract. So they
Nice.
brought us in, under this like grandfather clause where we could actually be contractors. and we brought on a few folks, under us. And so, yeah, that's began the journey of entrepreneurship.
And you've kind of carried that kind of entrepreneurial mindset through, I think, selling insurance and then now real estate with us. Tell us about that journey.
Okay, absolutely. So while I was at Verizon, my my husband was actually on that project as well. We decided that we were going to start this toner cartridge business. So we ended up started doing these refurbishing of toner cartridges, selling to Verizon, selling to other companies. So that was really my first gig as an entrepreneur. And so I knew I always wanted to be my own boss. And so, while at Verizon, at one point I got like burnt out from trying to find business after that gig at Verizon ended. It was like I was a business developer for an IT company. So then I said, okay, what else can I do? And one of my very close friends at the time said to me, Donna, have you ever done the Myers-Briggs personality test? And I said, no. She said, well, do it and see what you're good in. And so we did it. And she said, it came out that I was good in any kind of financial field. So I was like, oh, you know what? I've been thinking about mortgages. For some reason, that sort of stuck in my head. I like the idea of doing mortgages because it involved numbers. I've always been a numbers person. I was always good at math in college, and I started in accounting before I did MIS. So I decided, okay, I'm going to learn the mortgage business. And while I decided I was going to do that, I said, hey, maybe I should do real estate as well because they both go hand in hand. And so I started doing the mortgage business. I ended up owning my own mortgage brokerage. I started off with someone where I learned the business, helped him to start his own. And then a year after, I said, oh, okay, I'm going to do this on my own and have my own business. So I ended up being my own mortgage broker. It was called Centurion Mortgage. That's what I called the company. And then, you know, that was booming, doing really well. I loved the mortgage business. But then the market changed and most of my business was refinanced. So when the market turned, every property pretty much was upside down. So the refinance business kind of dried up and the rules changed with the whole mortgage thing. And so I said, okay, let me see what else I can do to supplement my income. And so I was doing the mortgage, real estate, and then I got my life insurance license. And then I started selling life insurance and, I liked it. Taught a lot of people about financial literacy and, got really involved in that business. And then after that, um, I then decided I'm going to focus on my real estate career, really through you, Greg. Because I said, okay, every time I would go to networking events, I wasn't sure which card to hand out. Am I going to hand out the mortgage card? Am I going to hand out the life insurance card? Am I going to hand out the real estate card? So I called myself a serial entrepreneur because that's what I was. And so after I joined your company, I remember being in your office one day and you're looking at me shaking your head saying, Donna, seriously, you're just all over the place. Why don't do me a favor? Why don't you just try doing one thing? And I'm looking at you like, really? I'm Jamaican, one thing? And you said, Donna, okay, just try it for a while. Just try it for a while. I want you to read this book called The One Thing. And once you read it, tell me what you think and how you feel about it. So I read the book and I said, okay, you know what? The book made sense because I realized that when I was only doing IT, I was only doing IT and I was making really good money. So the only time I made really good money was when I was only doing one thing. And so I decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to focus on real estate. And since I did that, that has been the most amazing journey.
And so you became my top agent out of I guess at the time around 300 agents. Now we've have over 500 agents, almost 600 agents. And then tell us about getting into, I preach multiple streams of income, generational wealth, leaving a legacy. Once you joined the brokerage, you later got into real estate investing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so of course, you became my mentor silently and vocally. I watched you and watched, what you were doing, and I got intrigued by the rehab business. And so, of course, I said, well, Greg, can I shadow you and some of your investments? And you're like, sure, because you're always willing. But of course, you said to me, Donna, whatever you do, I want you to keep your mouth shut because you talk too much. And I'm like, and, and sometimes when I wasn't even talking, you're accusing me of talking. But yes, I did talk a lot. But anyway, I was on those with you. And I was like, man, I love this. And so then we did a few deals together where, I was like a silent partner. Silent in the sense that, you ran the show, but sometimes I would open my mouth, but I was still a
Too
silent
much.
partner.
Too
So
much.
well, so you say, but that's my strong suit. So anyway, I did a few of those. And then um, I then got into ventures with another agent in the office, and we did that. And then last year, I ended up doing one on my own. That was just like, that blew my mind because I never thought I could do it. And it was actually a success. I applied a lot of the stuff I learned from you. And, then I adopted other really great principles with that. And, so now I'm always looking for a deal. I actually almost pulled the plug on buying a property yesterday, but the numbers just didn't make sense. So I'm doing all of that. I'm applying what you taught me, and because I know that I cannot just be a salesperson in order to retire the way I want to retire. So one of the things that I'm focused on as well is retirement because you know being 35, and I'm joking. I'm not even gonna tell my age, but anyway,
Can I, can I, can I tell them your age?
You know what? I'm not ashamed of my age. I'll be
No.
55 on Friday with a 27-year-old daughter. So again, yeah, I have to. I believe it or not, years ago I had planned to retire at 40, and I was close to that. I almost did because I was doing a lot of stock market investments. I was doing well in the stock market, and so retirement was just like within arm's reach. But then of course the market tanked. I lost a lot of money in the stock market, and so that dream of retiring at 40, you know, became I guess I would say future dream. So now I'm working on that.
So talk to us a little bit about your mindset. And I read about and hear a lot about the immigrant mindset. Um, I read that there's more immigrants starting businesses than U.S. Americans starting businesses. I know education plays a role.
Mm-hmm.
And so talk to us a little bit about your
Absolutely.
mindset, immigrant mindset coming from Jamaica. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I truly agree that we do have a different mindset because when I lived in Jamaica as a child, right, we saw America as a land of opportunity. People would say, well, America's not, the streets are not paved with gold, but to us it was because, the opportunity existed here that never existed in the Caribbean. And so, as a child growing up, and as most immigrants, the biggest focus is education. I mean, if you don't get educated, you're pretty much like totally ignored. And so, Jamaica, which is probably the only island that I can speak for, we tend to have this class system, and the class system, a lot of it is based on pretty much, how wealthy you are. Um, and so as a child, because everyone wants to feel important and noticed and, like there's someone. So that the only way to be that someone is to achieve. And so, I've always been driven to achieve. And I see, the folks that I'm around, my friends who are Jamaicans as well. Case in point, one of your agents who's, Marine, that, we're very close. And I admire her because I see how driven she is as well. I see her as she's like a true Jamaican. She's doing things. She's always working hard. And so that's how we are built. And so, owning a business is really the ultimate. It's like, because really, you want to run your own show. Most Jamaicans want to run, that I know, want to run their own show. And so the only way to do that is to own a business. And there's no, two of the fields that are the most admired has always been doctors and lawyers. So if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, you don't feel important. But that changed because what I realized was that, salespeople make a lot more money than doctors and lawyers. And so for
Absolutely.
me, it wasn't about the title. The title. I don't care about the title. Give me the money. Show me the money. And so title means nothing to me. It's really, I've always had this mindset that you can do whatever you set your mind to. You just have to work hard for it. And so, there's, I don't feel like there's anything that I cannot do. You know, the sky's the limit. So, and I think, that comes with, being a lot of it I attribute to being from Jamaica and just the people I've been around and just, the competition. They're very competitive. As you know, I'm very competitive. And so, yeah, but as immigrants, we feel a little bit more pressured to do well because coming to the United States as a child, I felt like I was treated like, oh, here you are coming to take my job because during the days when I came to the States, it was Caribbean people that felt that way. So, like I had to prove something. So, yeah, you know, but I love America. So I'm an American now. But I still, will always have my Jamaican heritage and culture. But, I rate the United States for what it has provided me.
And talk about the next generation, your daughter, your nieces, your nephews, as it relates to
Hmm. Hmm.
that same immigrant work ethic. Has that been passed down to them? Because
Right. Oh,
they're like first or second generation Americans.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't see it in them as much as I see it in my generation and the people who grew up in the Caribbean. And it may be because, they got more than we did, right? So as a parent, we tend to try to give our kids more than we had. And I think sometimes it's to their detriment because you work harder when you're hungry. And because I grew up where I didn't have, I was a lot more hungry and a lot more driven. And so I find that the ones who had it easy, and because, we want to make it easy for them because we never had it, they're not as driven as we are. However, they know and see, the principles that we live by. So they feel pressured. I know my daughter feels pressured all the time because she feels like, I measure her based on what I expect, that from what I saw. And so we sometimes, we battle each other because I'm like stressed. Like, why aren't you more driven than this? I want to see, hard work, yada yada yada. But then sometimes I realize that not because I'm not seeing a lot of activity does not mean that she's not being productive, and it does not mean that she's not doing something, right? So again, it's a totally different mindset. But I do believe that they hold on to some of, the culture that we have because if they're especially around Jamaicans, which she is, and so they have some of it, but not as much as we do.
And so, do you measure yes by how well you do financially compared to other Americans?
I think I do. Yes, I think I do. The reason why I say that is because I've had conversations where, people look at me like, really? You want more? Like I remember having a conversation with someone saying, okay, I want to make an income. That was before I started making the six figures. Oh, I want to make an income in the six figures, and they look at me like, man, I want to make $50,000, and I'm like, $50,000? That's nothing. So it's, I found that I saw more in terms of the capacity to build more wealth and to make more money. So yes, I think because in a sense money matters, right? Again, of course, I'm a Christian and I believe that where the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. And it's not that I love money like that, it's more so that I love the idea of being financially safe and stable. I just want to be financially safe. I don't have to be filthy rich, but I would love to be able to where I'm not never worried about money. So That's more what it is for me.
And so what do you say to Americans or privately about Americans who are living in what you would consider or coming from Jamaica, what you consider land of opportunity, not taking advantage of all the opportunities that this country provides?
Well, we say privately that you're crazy because, you know, unfortunately, back in the days, I'm not going to say today, but back in the days, we would see people in these, like BMWs and Mercedes Benz, and they didn't have a home. They didn't own a home. And my thing is, I'm not going to have a BMW or a Mercedes Benz and I don't own a home. I have to own a home first. And, saving is a big thing to my culture. Listen, we live in check to check, and just on what you have, that's a no-no. If I don't have money safe in the bank, I would be totally worried. So we learned that at a young age, you need to save your money and you need to buy a house. Forget the car, buy a house first. So I would say, know your priorities. And so, like even my daughter was like, oh, I don't want to own a home right now because that's so much responsibility. I'm like, are you kidding me? If you don't want to live in it, you can rent it out. But again, have you need something to show that, for all the hard work that you have done. So my thing is, if you don't have home ownership, you don't have money saved, you don't have investments, you don't have retirement monies put away, then it's like, what have you been working for? So I would say, and the opportunity is there. My thing is, I remember this guy, a friend of mine said to me one day, he said, Donna, you know what? You would make a good husband. So I looked at him, he goes, no, you would, because you have no problem hustling. You, I don't see you where if anything fails, you're going to find something else to do. You're a hustler. And I hated the word hustler, but it's fine with me now because guess what? I'm going to hustle regardless of what it is. So, yeah.
And so I'm kind of shifting gears. Where do you see yourself, let's say 5 years from now? Where would you like to be? And what would you like to be doing? And what would you have liked to
Where
accomplish?
Okay, to just put it in a few words, I'd like to see myself where I have enough put aside, I have enough residual income coming in, I have all the wants that I've wanted, and everything else that I'm doing and making is just gravy. That's where I'd like to be in 5 years. So pretty much, making sure that all my residual income is lined up, all my investments are there and solid, and that pretty much I'm in that retirement level. I'm not gonna retire because I don't like the word retirement. It sounds old. More so being financially stable and not having to hustle to save what I need to save for retirement.
Good. And talk to us a little bit about Friday. So coming Friday, it's Independence Day for Jamaica. Is there any other special occasion going on Friday?
Absolutely. Friday is my birthday. So I
Oh,
was born in Jamaica. And then
uh-oh. I think Donna has gone out. Let's see if she comes back in. She was getting ready to talk about her birthday coming up Friday, which is actually Jamaica's Independence Day. And so she's definitely going to celebrate. If you guys have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section. I wanted to bring Donna on. She's always been one of my top. There she goes. Go ahead, Donna.
yeah, I could hear you. Yeah, yeah. So it's yeah, August 6th is Jamaica Independence, different year. Um, but I'm gonna be in West Palm Beach, Florida, because of course I always go somewhere for my birthday. That was the other thing that I didn't mention. I love to travel. I mean, that's my passion. And so God has blessed me where I've been able to travel to a different country pretty much every year for the last, I can't remember how many years. I've gone to Morocco, South Africa, Japan, Europe. I mean, you name it, I've been there. And, I feel blessed that I'm able to do those things. And so, one of the reasons why I like to make money is because I want to be able to travel. So yeah, Friday will be Jamaica Independence, but it'll also be my special birthday.
And that's the last time you're going to travel this year, right?
No, absolutely not. If you look at my Southwest, I do a lot of Southwest. If you look at my Southwest trips, I'm going back to Jamaica in October. I went to Jamaica in July. I'm going to Miami. I'm going to St. Martin. I'm going to, where else am I going? Yeah, I'm going to a few places. But guess the good thing is I can work wherever I go. So what's crazy is every time I go on vacation, I have a contract that I'm working on. I have a ratified contract or two that I'm working on. So traveling is luck for me when it comes to my business.
So yeah, so you're a shining example of work hard, play hard. That you're making
Yes,
a lot of money, and you always have. You've saved a lot of money. You're frugal with your money, um,
I am.
and your lifestyle shows it. And you've done extremely well, extremely well by any measures. I remember when you first came to us, um, you were afraid to even do a listing. You're like, I'm not doing any listings. I'm not talking to
Right.
sellers. But I've seen over the years that your mindset has changed. How many years has it been? I don't even
It
remember
has.
how many years have you been with us?
What I've been with you probably at least 10 years. I've been an agent 17 or 18 years, and I've been with you, I would say at least 10 years. Um, And so, yeah, you were right. I never did a listing before I came to your office. And it blows my mind, how much money I left on the table because when I started doing listings, oh my goodness, it was crazy. And, I've done extremely well as an agent. And I've remained in the top 5 or 10, top 5%, right? Since I became number one, right? So, yeah, obviously I learned. Yeah.
And so I attribute your growth to just simply your mindset, just changing your
Hmm.
mindset,
Yes.
um, going to an abundance mindset, adding the
Hmm.
listings, and then with the work ethic that you bring, but then also adding the
Hmm.
real estate investing. And so,
Yes,
with that just
absolutely.
little mindset shift, you've done extremely well. Every year, consistent
Yes.
with your production. Every year, you're just really doing it. So I just want to say I'm proud of you. Um,
Thank you so much.
keep it up. Um,
Yeah, I certainly will.
so in closing, Donna, what advice would you give people out there, immigrants out there? We talked a lot about immigrants. What advice would you give those that maybe don't think that they can do it? What advice would you give?
Mhm. The advice that I would give is change your mindset. Don't be a victim. Don't think that you can't do what the other guy is doing or even more than the other guy is doing. Love this great country because there's no other place that I would rather live than the United States of America. I say that all the time because it does afford us freedom. It affords us opportunity. Afford us the just the dreams that we have. And most importantly, I believe that you have to believe in a higher power. I believe in God, and I believe that without His blessings and without Him, I would not be who I am. And I'm not trying to be cliche or anything. I truly believe that. So a lot of times when things don't work out for me, I pray. And and when I pray, I feel comforted, and I feel, I feel more encouraged, and that whatever it is that I'm needing or desiring, it will happen. So, I would say change your mindset, believe in God, and work hard. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to work hard to get what you want. There's no way around it. Anything that sounds too good to be true is always too good to be true. So there's no shortcuts. There is no shortcuts.
And so I thank you for that. I actually study the immigrant mindset because immigrants thrive. And I talk to a lot of immigrants.
Right.
And there's certain common denominators. But I think the number one common denominator is mindset, is work ethic, is wanting to be the best. And so I study that because that's what I want for myself. And I want to have that kind of work ethic.
Right.
I want to work and have the same kind of mindset as if, I'm an immigrant. And I am an immigrant, many generations, but I am an immigrant. And so I look at you, I look at Maureen and a few others that's in the office, and I know your journeys. Maureen had a restaurant back in the day, and she got into the insurance business like you did, and now she's with us doing real estate. And so that's what we all need. We all need that mindset. The mindset allows us to overcome whatever challenges, and we can't say, okay, well, I'm an immigrant. I've got obstacles. We got to overcome those obstacles, and some of it is even with your speech, with the accent. You don't have much of an accent, but whatever it is, you overcome it. And so in studying this, like I said earlier, there's more immigrant entrepreneurs starting businesses than U.S. Americans. So that just tells you something. And this is the land of opportunity. So you have to be an opportunist. You've got to take advantage of the opportunity. All right, Miss Donna. So we're gonna leave you alone. We're gonna let you get your pedicure and your manicure done.
Yeah, because I didn't get to put on any makeup, none of that stuff. I'm looking all jacked up. I was like, I didn't even want to just see my eyes because I'm tired because I was partying with Maureen. And you didn't give me the opportunity to put on my makeup or put on my powder, but that's all right. This is all me. This is the natural.
It's all good. This is the real deal. Wagwan.
Me in Jamaica. See, I got my nails done. At least I got my nails done.
It was Maureen's birthday yesterday, by the way. All right.
We're leaders. We're liars.
If I don't see you before your birthday, happy birthday. I owe you lunch. We go to lunch Donna and I go to lunch all the time. Yep. And so I look forward to your birthday lunch.
Next week.
I love you, Donna. You know I love you.
I love you too, Gregory Bennett. Absolutely, always.
All right, Donna. Thanks for doing this with me. If you guys, Donna, give out your,
you're welcome. All right.
Your Facebook, or I don't even know if you're on Instagram. How do people contact you?
Are you kidding me? I am on Instagram. What are you talking about? I am on this Instagram. Donna sells DMV real estate. My phone number is 301-674-2651. I'm licensed in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. My email address is donnaheslop@gmail.com. Easy. My website is donnaheslop.com. So pretty much I branded my name.
Good, Donna.
Yes.
Donna. And I'm at Greg Bennett Invest on Instagram. All right, Donna. Happy birthday.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. I'll see you next week.
All right, bye.
Okay. All right, bye-bye.
Take care, you guys. Have a great day.